Yo, yo. What is up? It's random vote time already, by the way. Get them in there. What's up, guys? Sorry, I know the starting soon screen was up there for a second after the montage. Apologies. Ferret, what's up, my friend? How are you, dude? My dude. Ferret, Wick. Nice. Wick, what's going on, buddy? Oh, man. It is a new day, baby. A new day. Why is it doing that? What's weird? Let's get that peepo hay in there. Yo. Tired, bro. Me too. That's why I'm a little bit slow this morning. I mean, I got the stream up on time. I was just a little bit slow getting everything going after the montage was finished, dude. Sorry, guys. Oh, man. Can you see it? Can you see the tired? It's cool. We'll get it. We'll wake up. Man. So, yeah, obviously we'll do what we always do, man. We'll do the news. And moving on to the forest today. So again, Breath of the Wild was amazing. It was a great game, you know. There were things that I felt could have been a bit better on the development side of the game. But overall, it was one of the best games that I played, I would say, last year, because you know, that's when we started. We finished it this year, but we started it last year, so it'll be a game that we consider we played last year, you know. And I actually, I know the stream wasn't very long yesterday, but I got a lot of stuff done. The entirety of the Disco Elysium playthrough has been finished with all the videos and highlights and everything. That's all done. It's uploaded to YouTube now. The entire playthrough and highlights can be found on Twitch. They're not public on YouTube yet. And I got about between a third and a fourth, something like that, of the Breath of the Wild playthrough finished already, of content created from the VODs and everything for YouTube. So I got a lot done yesterday, as well as getting my table finished for the side of the stream set up over here. So I got a lot done. It was good. I needed a bit of an extended day outside of just gaming to work on some things. So I got some catching up done yesterday. I'm gonna try to have all of the Breath of the Wild content highlighted out. That's like clips, fun stuff, as well as the playthrough episodes, all that stuff up on YouTube and public by the end of the week. I'm gonna try my best, and that way all that content will be there. And I'm trying to do my very best to get caught up on stuff. The holidays were pretty set me back a ways, you know. And then if I can get that done, get the rest of my YouTube stuff caught up on for the channel, then I can really start banging away at some content, getting some more montages made up. That way, when I take breaks, you guys can watch some montages instead of just break screen stuff, things like that, you know. But I'm working. I'm getting it done, man. We're getting there. Hope everybody is having a good day. I'm sorry you guys are tired, man. I feel that too. On that note, let's go ahead and jump in here. Let's do what we do, right, Wick? Let's do what we do, buddy. Let's get in here and check out the news, see what we got going on in the world of video games, and then we will start up day one of the forest, man, see what's going on. I'll probably be starting this up as a multiplayer game. That way, if we have, you know, peeps from the community that want to get in and play, then I'll allow that. I'll set up a password. It'll be a password protected situation. I want to give some awake and ready to troll. Brother, anytime you're awake, you're ready to troll. So that is not news to me, dude. I'll set it up to where we can get some people from the community in and playing in the game if they want. Probably try to give some preferential opportunity to long-standing community members and mods, things like that, and then we'll see how that goes, you know. Let's go ahead and get it, though. We are listening, by the way, this morning to some... Well, we were anyways. Dude, Steam's music player is an absolute mess. It sucks so bad. I'm going to have to maybe find another music player that I can import my Steam music into, my OSTs, and play out of that, because this thing sucks so hard. it just stops playing music all the time. Even though it's on repeat, it just stops. It didn't even get to the end of this soundtrack or anything. But this is what we were listening to anyways. Crypt of the Necro Dancer during the startup of the stream this morning. If you were catching some of that music, it's an amazing soundtrack. What else sucks, dude? The Buccaneers? Too soon? I don't know. So if you dig the music we were listening to this morning, Sykes' mom, jeez, dude, that escalated quickly. That's definitely troll status. He's not even here to defend himself, dude. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. He's not even here to defend himself. At least, talk trash when people are around, dude. You know? This is a good soundtrack. It's a great... You'll clip it? All right, dude. All right. It's a great soundtrack. Yeah, send it to him. All right, dude. Great soundtrack, great OST. It comes not only with this just bass soundtrack for the game, but like a bunch of other remixes and like different versions of the songs and stuff like that. It's really amazing how much music you get out of just buying the soundtrack for the Crypt of the Necro Dancer game. And it's a very cool game as well. Rhythm-based adventure RPG type game. So highly recommend checking it out, okay? Go ahead and check that out if you are enjoying the music and if that genre of game sounds cool to you, all right? Let's go ahead. Let's do this. That game was so bad last night. Bro, I watched like the second quarter and the beginning of the third, and I was like, as good as Tom Brady is at coming back, it did not look good, dude. It was, I haven't even really hardly watched any NFL this year. It just doesn't appeal to me anymore, really. NFL is not really my jam. Didn't the Penguins play the Bruins last night too, though? Hockey's more my jam. Can we talk about that one? Didn't that happen last night? Or yesterday afternoon? Pretty sure. Oh, it was the Ducks. Didn't you guys just play the Bruins, though? You guys actually won last night in overtime. GG's, man. It's no the Stars blanking the Golden Knights at Las Vegas 4-0, but great job anyways. Pens versus Ducks. Didn't you guys just play the Bruins, though? Game before this? I meant to say something to you about it, and I just forgot, I think. Let's get into this news. The Bruins are flipping tough this year, and I hate the Bruins, so I'd rather see you guys win. All right, let's get in here. Let's see this. What we got? We got Epic Game Store's first big free game of 2023 leaked early. Let's take a look. Beginning of last week, is that what it was? It seems more recent than that. But yeah, that game last night between the Bucks and the Cowboys was, the only reason that, I grew up a Cowboys fan too. Like I grew up watching the NFL and everything, and I don't really care for it anymore. I don't care for the NFL. It doesn't appeal to me at all. So I don't have a whole lot of feelings towards one way or another, even if it was like teams that I grew up rooting for or whatever. It just doesn't really appeal to me. But I'll tell you what, one of the big reasons, just because I'm a sports fan in general, I get so tired of every time I get on ESPN's app seeing some kind of crap about Stephen A. Smith dogging on the Cowboys, dude. And he was like dressed up in Buccaneers gear and stuff. Dude, I'm so glad that the Cowboys beat the Buccaneers. Because Stephen A. Smith gets on my nerves, dude. That guy gets on my nerves. We already hit on this. Awesome games done quick makes $2.6 million for charity. He has some good points sometimes and stuff, but really he's just quite often real loud and obnoxious and doesn't want to see anybody else's point and stuff. It seems like he kind of gets on my nerves. Ooh, Activision Blizzard says NetEase dismisses proposal to extend ties. Huh. PlayStation shows off 2023's most exciting games in new trailer. Cool, man. We got some stuff to start off with today. Skip Bayless? Absolutely worse, dude. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Skip is terrible. Yeah, most of them, anyways. Most of them are absolute trash cans. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely, dude. Yeah, it's like most news outlets. It's just different a little bit because it's based on sports rather than actual like worldwide news. But you're absolutely right, dude. Yeah, it's a bunch of honestly, most of them come off like a bunch of tools. You know. Yep. It's very rare that one of them says something and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Most of the rest of the time I'm like, Jesus, will they get them off? That's why I don't even really watch ESPN anymore. The only reason I even have the app is like I'll pop in there once or twice a day to see what the top articles are. And other than that, I use it because I have ESPN Plus, and I just watch hockey on there all the time. Yup. Yeah, we've got that up already. Alan Wake 2 release date trailer and latest news. Let's go. Excuse me. We have that up as well. We have that up already. Also, where's this out of? VGC? That's fine. Will Sons of the Forest come to PS4, PS5, and Xbox? That's a pro. Let's take a look at that. Gamer, what's up, buddy? How you doing, dude? We're playing. This is one of the reasons, Sons of the Forest looks like it could be pretty solid, and that's why I wanted to. I've been wanting to play the Forest for a long time. It is a very highly rated survival game too, and I was like, let's see if we can get a playthrough in before Sons of the Forest drops, and then we'll try to play Sons of the Forest on release and see how it is. So let's see what's up with Sons of the Forest being on other platforms. We've talked about this enough. I'm not jumping into that. TLDR, if you didn't know, Squanch Games is the studio behind High on Life, right? Which is Justin Roiland's studio. Justin Roiland is the main creative mind behind like Rick and Morty and stuff, right? Um, so not only did Squanch Games settle a sexual harassment lawsuit, settled out of court back around, what was it, 2018, 2017, 2018. But Justin Roiland himself is in the midst of a case where he's being accused of charges on a couple of different domestic abuse charges, significant ones. And so we'll have to see how this pans out. Um, Again, he hasn't been charged formally or anything yet, or he hasn't been deemed guilty. He's been charged. He hasn't been deemed guilty of these. So let's not jump to conclusions. There's usually two sides to every story, but we'll see what happens, right? Chaos Bane. Yes. Cheers. Is that what you're playing right now, or what? What's that about? Um. Oh, okay, cool. Are you enjoying it? Steam's second most anticipated game is finally going to show some footage just a month before it launches. Yeah, dude, this is the day before, right? The day before has been like one of the most, if not the most, wish listed game on Steam for quite some time now. It's been hyped and anticipated, and I don't know what to think really. Yeah, you're enjoying it? Cool, man. Good, good. This studio has never done a game like this before, and it seems like it could be very, very good if it is done right, if it's developed well, if it feels good. But if not, then it's just another it's just another example of maybe a studio reaching for something that they weren't necessarily prepared for, and we'll just have to see once it releases. It's on our schedule as like it's highlighted in red as probably a not play on day one release because we've got some other stuff we'll be playing at that time. But we want to pay attention to it and see how it does. If it's good, there's the potential for us to play this as a community game. We just need to see what's going on with it. I'm a little bit skeptical about diving into this day one, or even the day before. um, just because I don't know if I can put too much stock in how well this game will do or feel on initial release. I'm terrible. Wait, Free League Publishing announces plans to make Year Zero what? Open gaming license after D&D OGL controversy. They're not the only ones, dude. A lot of them are doing it. Who was the other one? That's already done this. The developers behind the Pathfinder games have done this already as well. Dungeons and Dragons world has gotten wrecked by Wizards of the Coast and their parent company Hasbro by being greedy a-holes, man, basically. Uh-oh. Aunt Todd, what's going on? Starfield release date reportedly delayed. hmm. Thunderful Games teasing new Steam World announcement. See what's going on there. What? Hogwarts Legacy fans get disappointing news about what? Requested feature. Okay, we'll see what that is. Got an amount of news this morning. The past couple of news segments have been a bit shorter than normal, but that's been okay because we had some really long ones before that too. So it looks like we're gonna have some news this morning, man. What is the most overrated video game? That's going to be very subjective. Everybody's going to have a different kind of opinion on that. I can tell you what my most overrated game of the past uh year would be. Hmm. Probably. And it was a good game. But the way most overhyped game, Starfield. If you mean ever, what's the most overhyped game ever? Cyberpunk. No Man's Sky did that. It's right. Yeah, No Man's Sky as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk, I think, would be two of the top choices to be thrown out there for people. I thought we were just talking about over the past year, or like upcoming games or whatever. Most overrated game. I think it's important to put, of all time, No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk right up there together, dude. They're both very, very bad in regards to that. Yeah, pretty terrible. Yep. Right now, I think the most overhyped game, I guess not most, like the most overhyped game right now for me would be Starfield, without question. I think that people that are hyped about that game are kind of out of their minds. Overall, there'd be several, yeah, but I think at the top of that list, you'd have a lot of people that would say either or one of those. But there are a lot of prime examples of games that have been hyped up and then didn't even come close to either following through with what the game was supposed to offer. Whenever that's a big one for like No Man's Sky, right? No Man's Sky was hyped up to be this what it is today, and on release it was nowhere even close to that. Or vice versa, on the flip side of that coin is a game that just was an absolute crap show, like Cyberpunk. You know what I mean? So, but there are many, many, many other examples of that, of either or. And but I think those are two of the games that really, really stick out in people's minds because of how much media hype there was around both of those titles before the release. Those are two of the main titles that stick out in my mind, anyways. No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk, for sure. There's been a ton of them though. Overrated. This is the thing for me. I'm a pretty thorough critic of games, and I can tell you over the past year, my most overrated game would be Elden Ring, and people will go, "What?" A big part of it's because I played it on PC, and the PC port was trash. The PC port was absolute balls. There was a ton of frame drop. There was a lot of stuttering, and especially in a game like that, is really, really hard to deal with. So the fact that there were just everybody, there's Elden Ring. It was a good game. But the fact that everybody was trying to throw tens at that game makes me. I've been saying this ever since that game came out. I played it on release, and ever since that game came out, everybody's been throwing tens at it. Tens to me means there's nothing wrong with that game. And that's false. I don't even care if you played it on a console or PC. There was a lot of quality of life things missing. You couldn't interact with anything while you were in like stealth mode, which was stupid because they wanted stealth mode to be a big part of that game. The targeting system in that game is still the same targeting system from like flipping Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls days. All they do is import the same stupid targeting system into those games, and it's trash can, man. There are things about Elden Ring that are not fantastic. Aside from the fact the PC version was balls on release. It was terrible. And people just want to throw out tins. Give me a break, man. That's where I'm like, Jedi Fallen Order? Yeah. That was also a game that had issues on release too, though. People don't remember that. Fallen Order had issues on release as well. You know what's funny, Ferret? We have the same mindset in regards to that. That was one of the things that I was seeing for High on Life. Whenever High on Life came out, it was funny because I was noting that to people. It came out on Steam and it was like $60, I think, but it was also on Game Pass. So people were like just buying it up on Steam. And I was looking at how long it took to beat that game. It was looking like an average of about 13 to 15 hours. And I'm like, dude, you guys, and everything that I was reading about the game was like, it was a funny experience, but it was, there's no replayability in it. You're only getting about 12 to 15 hours worth of gameplay before you beat the game. And you're paying $60 for that. Dude, that's not worth my money. Jamal Giga Chad. Hello. What's up? How are you, buddy? Good morning. I look at that very hard, man. And that's why I was telling her, I was like, look, it overall seems like a pretty good game. People have been enjoying it quite a bit, but is $60 worth like 12 to 15 hours worth of gameplay? Not for me, it's not. And that's why I was like, if you want to play it, man, just go get a month-long subscription of Game Pass and play it. Going to watch you because I'm constantly getting banned on Twitch. Uh-oh. What are you getting banned on Twitch for, Jamal Giga Chad? Well, what are you doing wrong, man? You don't know? Keep fun to watch. All right, cool. Hey, I appreciate that. Be careful though. This is a legit. I said hey and just got banned. No. What? All right. Keep it safe for work, man. Keep it safe for work. That's all. Be cool. Be cool. Keep it safe for work, and you won't have to worry about being banned here. Just don't be toxic. Be cool, and keep it safe for work. Laptop's getting the blue screen of death. That sucks, man. That's no good. Ferret, you just reminded me of one of the worst games I've played. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, PS2. I beat the whole game, including an extra playthrough in 8 hours. That was nuts to me. Yeah, dude. I mean, I take a hard look at that. And a big part of it for me is like, I've got such a viewpoint on, especially nowadays with so much monetization going on in the gaming industry. It's like games are now popping off at $70 a piece on release. Then you've got DLC that comes out a month and a half later they want you to buy. And they've got microtransaction shops in game. It's like there's always some kind of price hurdle, battle passes and you name it, dude. There's always some kind of price hurdle. And so for me, it's like I'm always a bit cautious about looking at, and Gamer, I'm going to hit your comment there. It's always I'm a bit cautious when I look at games that like, it might be fun, but is it fun and am I going to get my money's worth out of it, right? Am I going to get my money's worth out? Because if not, it's a no-go for me. Battlefront, heroes aren't born, they're bought. Hey, dude, that's EA, baby. Fair, that's EA, dude. You know what I mean? That's just, we've known EA's been like that for long. And again, that's just another example of, the price obstacle, right? And look, I know a lot of people don't look at the gaming industry the way I do, but I'm an advocate, man, for trying to create a healthier environment and I'm not saying that developers shouldn't be making money, but they shouldn't be, getting over on us as well. Yeah. It's important to keep the industry healthy, which is why I'm a proponent of emulators for preserving video game history, but I'm not a proponent of emulators to get around putting money into the industry because it needs to maintain health, right? But at the same time, there's a good way for developers to want us to spend money on their things, and then there's bad ways, right? So I'm always talking about that kind of thing. I don't know, and that's why I was like, it was kind of wild to me that there were so many people going and buying High on Life for like $60, I think it was, and they could just go spend like 15 for a month's worth of Game Pass, get 12 to 15 hours out of it, and then go play a bunch of other games too for a month. You know, that was crazy to me. I don't know, didn't make much sense. People seem to like the game, that's cool, but you're not going to get a whole lot of gameplay out of it, I don't think. Yeah, gamer. I don't really think any game is a perfect 10. I agree. Someone will always find something wrong or bad about it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that I've been very vocal about too, though, is, I feel like people and review sites and things like that are quite often very, very fast to just throw a 10 out for a game. And to me, that means a game is perfect. And dude, I've never played a game that was perfect. And that's weird to me. If I'm ever going to rate a game on a scale of 10, I'm going to rate it in some decimal points too. Unless I'm hitting like a flat 8 or a flat 9, I'm going to go like 9.2, 7.6, something like that. Give it some kind of score, because dude, I've never played a game that I didn't see something that could have been a bit better. Yeah, I'm critical of stuff, but it's because, again, I kind of want to be a proponent for the developers to kind of see things that maybe could have been done a bit better. I've never seen a game that was absolutely through and through all the way perfect. Does that mean that every game I play is like I feel like every game I play is trash? Absolutely not. Most games I play, I have an absolute fantastic time playing those games. Um, but I do feel like it's important to give developers good, constructive feedback on what could have potentially made for a better experience, to give them some lessons learned in making things maybe a bit better for us moving forward, right? And it's so weird to me that there are so many people that just every game, it's like because you get these people that are fans of certain developers, right? You get these Soulsborne fans that it's like every From Software game that comes out, they're like, it's a 10. It's a 10. They'll never be able to beat anything. They'll never be able to beat it. And then the next game they come out with is, oh, it's a 10. They'll never be able to beat it. They say like the same exact thing. It's like, bro, you guys are ridiculous. They say the same thing every time they come out with a new game. And I'm not demeaning the fact that Elden Ring was amazing. Cyberpunk wasn't fine on PC, from what I understand. It was playable. It was playable, man. It was playable on PC, as opposed to console, where they literally were having to take it off the shelves. It was playable. It still had a lot of bugs. It still had a lot of really weird stuff happening in the game, but it was playable at least. And yeah, the Elden Ring was not nearly to the extent of Cyberpunk was, though. Elden Ring was playable on PC, but it had some significant issues. It was playable. It just didn't feel good, and it was great on console. So basically, Elden Ring was like developed for console and then just ported over to PC right before release, not optimized for PC, and it felt bad. So it's not quite the same thing, but I see where you're headed there. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll keep pushing and looking here, but it's a bit wild to me how people view this quite often, how they like to rate games on a like. You're throwing a 10 at a game, man. It means it's perfect to me. I don't understand that. We've got that up. Where's level 5 out of? Let's just hit on this real quick. Out of Japan. Okay. So apparently, Level 5, developer of Nino Kuni, is looking to expand globally. What we're seeing is the reason I was interested in that, just real quick, is because there's so many developers out of China that are trying to expand into other countries of the world because China's become so very restrictive on game developers to the extent of you could have games ready to be published and released for months to even years at a time now without getting a what are they calling it, a permit basically to release these games in China. It's really, really wild situation. It's like a huge bottleneck, if you will. You got all these game developers in China that are like creating, developing, and they have all these games that are like funneling in and are ready for release, but the government's like got a grip on being able anybody being able to release games without a permit. And basically, they don't give out permits until about every like 3 to 4 months, and then it's like a very small number at a time. So there are a lot of developers coming out of China that are trying to get into other areas of the world in order to get away from those restrictions that China's placing on game devs. PlayStation Store reveals most popular PS4, PS5 digital games. Let's take a look at that. This might be the same. Let's get all this PlayStation stuff up here together. Quit that. We've already got this up. Yeah, we already hit on this too. Stadia is dying tomorrow, by the way, if you didn't know. So Stadia is dying at like midnight on the 18th. And what they've done is they're pushing out a Bluetooth. It's always had the functionality of Bluetooth. It just hasn't had the utility to implement it, right? So what Google is doing is pushing out this utility, the software utility to be able to implement Bluetooth on the Stadia controllers. But what the community is asking is for it to be open source. That way, the controller can potentially be incorporated into other gaming systems and stuff. We'll have to wait and see, but we've already kind of hit on this. That's just so if you didn't know, that's what that's about, okay? We hit on this yesterday. Go take a look at yesterday's news segment if you want some more info on the WWE 2K23 reveal. Looks like the Skyrim mod for Skyblivion is getting a 2025 release window. That's about all we really need to know there. Oh, here you go. I was just talking about this. China approves 88 games in January. So for the entirety of the gaming industry in their country, they have approved 88 games to be released in January. But this is like the first time they've officially given out any approvals or permits for games to be released since I think September or October, something like that. Last page, then we'll dive into these articles. Next, PS5 remake releasing this week. Interesting. Okay. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen devs drop a juicy lore bomb on us. Let's take a look at that. Nintendo fans get a new Fire Emblem freebie if you're interested. Yo, we checked. We saw yesterday where Black Myth Wukong. We saw a trailer yesterday, and it was an amazing trailer. Okay, if you didn't catch this, Black Myth Wukong has been a highly anticipated game for over a year now, probably closer to a couple of years now. And it's a very Soulsborne-esque kind of third-person ARPG game. It looks very good. And they came out with a really cool trailer that was basically like kind of trolling themselves and gamers as well about how the gaming industry works and about how gamers tend to react to delays for games, because this trailer was also to announce the fact that Black Myth Wukong is being pushed back to 2024. And it was actually a pretty fresh take on an announcement for a game to be delayed a little bit. Even though this game didn't have a definitive release date, people were it had like a year of 2023 on it initially, but they're already very early this year. They're like, look, we're pushing to 2024. But the trailer they came out with was fantastic. I highly recommend taking a look at it or looking at our news segment yesterday. It was very good. Ubisoft ensures games will be released despite delays. I don't really believe anything coming out of Ubisoft right now. There's just so much chaos coming out of that development studio that I'm not putting any stock in anything from Ubisoft right now. We hit on this the other day too. The Steam bans from Lost Ark. It was just an unfortunate side result of them trying to ban out a bunch of bots. There were inactive accounts on Steam that were also getting banned, but they're working on fixing all that. All right, let's jump into this. Let's see what we got. Pantheon. Rise of the Fallen devs dropped a juicy lore video introducing the nomadic Aradola faction. The tapestry of yore that Visionary Realms is weaving within the world of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen has expanded a bit further with the introduction of the Aradola nomadic faction. While it did debut during the recent developer stream, the team dropped a juicy lore piece as a separate video today. The Aradola are nomadic people storing the wisdom of the forgotten peoples of Terminus. Their beginnings are a mystery even to themselves, but the group has focused on harvesting knowledge. The nomadic faction also believes that maps invite misfortune, and that any link to their own past will only invite the unspoken horror that dwells within it. Visionary makes it clear that they are not a shadowy, suspicious faction due to their introduction. The Aradola's culture is shaped around dancing and songs embedded with mysticism, brimming with themes of joy and hospitality. The group lives in nomadic tent villages, known as Woda, and lives off a mixture of self-made provisions, harvesting resources, and trading with locals. The video doesn't show in-game footage of the Aradola, but unveils a range of artwork stills to help you imagine this nomadic civilization. If you'd like to learn more, check out the video below. Let's go. This is 10 minutes long, man.
There are stories woven into the fabric of Terminus that are barely remembered, even by the people who
Isn't this the like MMORPG that's been worked on for quite some time now, Pantheon?
Like Osirico.
Isn't this from some of the devs that were actually original devs of
be forgotten. That is the nature of the Fallen. They are mortal.
God, why can't I think of the name of that game?
Rising and falling like
I'll pull
grass,
up some stuff real quick.
Needing the archives of the immortal to keep their memory alive. A memory is an oddly shaped thing. In your mind, it can be grasped like a well-weighted stone, the sort that feels good to toss in your hand as you amble beside a river. To your companion, however, that same memory is also a stone, but hot and heavy in their palm. It radiates, perhaps with joy, perhaps with pain.
New MMO can be
will never be
played in pre-alpha
to
sessions.
observers, it's the same stone, the same moment shared between friends. But when either of you hold it aloft, that memory might as well be two different events. Among the most ancient races of Terminus, there are shared legends that also reveal the deepest of differences. Stories that burn hot and heavy to one people, cold and lifeless to
God, why
another.
can't I remember the name of that
Then
old
there are tales
MMORPG,
unremembered,
dude?
shuttered off,
Oh
drifting
God,
wordlessly
it was so
to the
good.
bottom of the river, until someone else picks them up further downstream and asks, I wonder what this is all about. The Aredola are a people born of that question. Of their own history, they know very little and share even less, instead stewarding the wisdoms of the forgotten peoples of Terminus. This tradition is not by accident or oversight, but rather by intent. In fact, the Aredola are often said to be the very people who seeded a now widespread belief that maps invite misfortune. Or more plainly, that a map is simply bad luck. To this day, the Aredola believe that any link to their own past will only invite the unspoken horror that dwell within it. With this dour introduction, you might assume that the Aredola are a shadowy, suspicious people, but that could not be further from the truth. Their culture is shaped by dance and song, surrounded in myth and mysticism, alive with joy and hospitality. Living in nomadic tent villages called Woda, the Aredola have no permanent home, no nation they hail from, or land that they will someday return to. Nothing but the Woda and the peoples to protect. They subsist off a mixture of their own provisions, limited harvesting of resources, and trade with the locals. Thus, it is said that as long as there are birds in the air or fish in the sea, the Aredola will have a place to dwell. They've never met a stranger, have few foes, and even have a legacy as bear trainers.
Anyways,
At times,
can't think of it. Here's a link to their website for this MMO.
This is
anyways,
where the Are music often accompanies the show.
Take a look. This has been in development for a while. I haven't heard about Pantheon in quite some time, though. So if you want to watch the rest of that, I'll put that in there as well. But there's a website for Pantheon, MMO.com, the game. There are a lot of classes. It looks like it could be good. I don't know. MMOs are hard to develop well, and good ones are good, bad ones are bad. So, see, it looks like there's some alpha gameplay stuff you can get into as well. So if you're interested, there's some links in chat right there. Nintendo fans get new Fire Emblem freebie. Beginning in just a few short days, fans of Nintendo's popular Fire Emblem series will be able to snag a few freebies for themselves, courtesy of the Japanese video game publisher. To close out this week, Nintendo will be releasing Fire Emblem Engage on Switch. Engage is set to be the first mainline installment in the Fire Emblem series following 2019's highly popular Fire Emblem Three Houses. While many are surely counting down the minutes until they can play Engage, Nintendo will be handing out some free items in another Fire Emblem title quite soon. Available starting on January 19th, that's 2 days from now. Nintendo will be handing out free items related to the Fire Emblem heroes with Fire Emblem Engage. If you're not familiar with Heroes, it's Nintendo's mobile Fire Emblem title that originally released all the way back in 2017. By simply linking your own Nintendo account with Fire Emblem Heroes, prospective Engage players will then be able to snag 6 different items to use when the game launches at the end of the week. You'll get a Folkvinger weapon, a Finsteller weapon, a Noetzen weapon, Alphonse S-Rank Bond Ring, Sharina S-Rank Bond Ring, and Anna S-Rank Bond Ring. All in all, it's a pretty cool cross-promotion by Nintendo to raise excitement for Fire Emblem Engage even further. If you'd like to learn more about how you can obtain all of these freebies, you can learn more on Nintendo's own website right here. There's a link. And as for Engage itself, the game is set to become available on Switch this Friday, January 20th. All right? If you're interested, I'll link this for you. Here you go. Solid. PlayStation shows off 2023's most exciting games in new trailer. From innovative indies to cutting-edge blockbusters, check out the most exciting games set to land on PS5 and PS4 in the coming year. Read the description for the trailer, which is viewable below. Games on show include PS5 console exclusives like Final Fantasy XVI, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Forspoken, and Horizon Forbidden West expansion Burning Shores. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. Final Fantasy 16, where the director of this game said everybody should not worry about playing it on any other console and just go buy themselves a PS5 because, you know, that's the way the world works. Oh, my bad, guys. Hold on. I was like, dude, why am I not hearing anything? Spider-Man 2, I assume will be pretty solid. Insomniac does a great job on those. RE4, there's a lot of hype behind this. We're spoken, very scared about this game. Yeah, buy a PS5, right? Because everybody just has $500 plus to spend on one. Plus, it's easy to find one, you know, like, you know, get wrecked, man. That's what I was saying when I read that article. Was like, how about you just go buy everybody one, okay? If it's that easy, why don't you and all the money that you're making as the director of that game, just go buy everybody one that needs one, okay? Easy. If it's that easy, just do it for us, okay? If you're that worried about everybody playing it on a PlayStation, you buy everybody a PlayStation, dude. I miss playing some Destiny. I'm not gonna lie. I really liked Destiny 2 on release. I just kind of got bored with it, as there didn't feel like there was enough content coming out fast enough for me, and I got stuck on some other games. Ooh, Hogwarts, baby. I can't wait to be evil. Ooh, dude, that Spawn, yeah, not Spawn, but Venom looks good. Oh, dude, yeah, I have no doubt. It's been a long time, Farron, yeah. I have no doubt. No doubt. Honestly, I mean, FF16 looks good, but dude, Square Enix scares the crap out of me. You know, that developer scares the crap out of me. I think AC Mirage could be a good play for Ubisoft, as it is apparently something that they're trying to get back to their roots a bit with Assassin's Creed, but Ubisoft scares the crap out of me right now too. Bro, Square Enix has not, you know, it's just another example of those, a developer that many of us fell in love with a long time ago that lost their way a number of years ago too. It's the same thing for me as almost not quite as bad as Blizzard yet, but dude, I see them getting there. They are so just greed driven. That's all they care about now. All they want to do is Web3, crypto, NFT based stuff. They're very public about it. They don't care. That's all they care about is money, dude. It's not about what, you know, gaming is or what it's supposed to be. I get business, you know, okay. The whole business side. Didn't Microsoft buy Blizzard? Not yet. It's a process that's being hindered by some regulational authorities, like organizations. Yeah, so we've got like the Federal Trade Commission is involved. I think there's a European organization that's involved too that's kind of roadblocked the acquisition of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft right now. Yeah, so I don't know if it's going to come to fruition. I wish it would. I think it's overall for the better. But there's some organizations, some governmental organizations across the world that are have their hands in it now, and they're like really making this hard for Microsoft. So we just have to see what happens. There's a difference between. So this happened at the beginning of last year, right, where Microsoft and Activision Blizzard agreed to a handshake, as it were, right? Like, we will buy your company for this amount per share, and we will own you outright. We are acquiring your entire company. And there's that kind of initial handshake contract where this is what we are prepared to do. And then there's a lot of ins and outs of it as far as the legal side of things and in the business world that have to take place. And part of it is having to ensure that there's no kind of like significant anti-competitive practices going on, things like that. And right now there's quite a bit of obstacles being constructed due to these government organizations that have their hands in this acquisition. So we're keeping track of it, but really there's not been a whole lot new on that front right now. Besides the fact that like literally every competing organization, Sony, due to being their main competitor for consoles and software, Google being their main competitor in the fact that Microsoft is trying to set up an app store that would compete with Google, and Nvidia being their main competitor in the cloud gaming space, have all come forward and gone, this can't happen. This is anti-competitive. Like, it's wild to me. I laugh because it's wild to me because Microsoft found a way to be competitive, right? Found a way to grab a bunch of significant IPs and development studios and things like that to really put them in a super competitive position. And now the rest of these companies are like, oh, this can't happen. So who's really anti-competitive here? You know what I mean? I get it. It does present a situation for these other companies, but instead of them going, yo, this is prompting us to be a better business and finding ways to compete, they're just like, oh, no. Facebook is not a government institution. I am not convinced of that. And what government are you talking about? Because there was a lot of propaganda on that platform, buddy. There always has been. So you're going to tell me that Facebook is not a government institution? Maybe not on the surface level, but you won't be able to convince me of that, dude. You know? Nice try, troll boy. Also featured are Hogwarts Legacy, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Resident Evil 4, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Dead Space, Street Fighter 6, Alone in the Dark, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and Wild Hearts. There's footage of PlayStation VR 2 launch game Horizon Call of the Mountain 2, plus indie titles like Tropical Open World Adventure, Chia, and Bicycle Road Trip Game Season, A Letter to the Future. VGC previewed many of the games featured in the video over the holidays as we looked ahead to some of 2023's biggest console and PC releases. Wait, you're a trip, dude. Sony said this month that PS5 has sold over 30 million units, double what Xbox has sold since its November 2020 launch. Speaking during the company's CES showcase, SIE president Jim Ryan claimed December was PS5's biggest sell month yet, and that increased availability means more consumers can now purchase the console following long-running supply issues. Yeah, the PSVR 2 is going to launch on February 22nd. Cost more than a PS5 does. But honestly, I mean, in the realm of VR headsets, this is not a bad price point. It just kind of sucks as far as I'm concerned. This is only a headset that can be used on your PlayStation console, so that is one caveat there, as well as the fact that this is not backwards compatible with any PlayStation VR 1 software, because PlayStation's pretty awesome like that, you know? /S. I'm being sarcastic. They suck with backwards compatibility, so feels bad. But there you go. If you want that, there you go. PlayStation Store reveals most popular PS4, PS5 digital game downloads for last month. Let's see what they are. PlayStation Store's list of the top downloads for December 2022 spans a huge range of genres and game types. Top game for both PS5 and PS4 in the US, Canada is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. While the top game for both PS5 and PS4 in the EU is FIFA 23. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has seen great success on Steam as well, bringing in a great deal of revenue. Yeah. Top downloaded PS5 games for December were Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, FIFA, NBA 2K23, GTA 5, Madden 23, Callisto Protocol, God of War Ragnarok, Need for Speed Unbound, Elden Ring, and Crisis Core. Top downloaded PS4 games for December. Modern Warfare 2, it's basically the same list, but there's Minecraft in there, RDR 2, Last of Us 2, and Need for Speed Heat instead of Unbound. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that you're probably not wrong there, Ferret. I think there's a reason why. I think that is one of the reasons why Xbox hasn't tried to incorporate their own VR, specifically for the Xbox. Also, aside from the fact that they create Windows and inherently there are so many VR headsets that work on Windows. And literally every single Xbox game that comes out also releases on Windows. You know what I mean? So not that everybody has a PC to use, so don't get me wrong. It's not that everybody has a PC to use too, but it does present the opportunity for people to have another avenue to utilize VR to play the same games that come out on Xbox, whereas PlayStation doesn't always have that, right? Because they are kind of buttholes at releasing their games on PC, anyways. So it's a bit more of a proprietary niche kind of situation for them, where it's like, oh, we should probably just create our own VR. So yeah, I think that PlayStation did a pretty good job with that. Well, from everything I saw, anyways, their initial VR headset from on the PS4 seemed to be very good. Now, did it make that much money? I have no idea. I don't know the numbers. Again, I think that you're hitting on a key thing there, and this is something that PlayStation has traditionally been pretty terrible about, which is backwards compatibility. Um, Even right now with the new PlayStation VR headset coming out, you can't even play the previous PlayStation VR games, that were part of PSVR 1. It's not like they couldn't do it. They just don't want to, really. So, isn't going to work on the next gen console? Yeah, I think you're probably right. But I feel like PlayStation is more the console that caters to it's like a well console, dude, if you think about it that way. You know? Xbox tends to be the console that seems to be a bit more gamer conscious. They're good with backwards compatibility. They release all their day one titles on their subscription service. Like, they just tend to be a little bit more gamer minded, a little bit more gamer focused. Whereas PlayStation nowadays seems to be just more, focused on money. It seems to me, anyways. So I don't know. That's been my take. And dude, I was traditionally a PlayStation fan over the years of consoles. So this is just coming over the past couple of years for me of the things that I've seen in you know, comparing and contrasting these two major console players in PlayStation and Xbox. Those are some pretty big differences I've seen between the both of them personally. Next PS5 remake releasing this week. Hold on. I didn't read this. Hold on. Yeah, I just thought that was the last one. The first couple of weeks of 2023 have been quiet on the video game front as is usually the case to kick off a new year. The launch slate and the big news cycle regarding what's to come in the next 12 months will pick up speed soon enough. Through an Xbox showcase and perhaps PlayStation announcing some third-party projects in the near future, that's according to a leaker known only as The Snitch. Snitches get stitches. A renowned and usually reliable source, The Snitch claimed to be retired from the leaks game a little while ago. That's why it was quite the surprise when they popped up on their own public Discord to reveal a reliable source had informed them that PlayStation is preparing to reveal some upcoming third-party content very soon. As for what the third-party content might be is up to everyone's imagination for the time being. The leading theory is the Metal Gear Solid remake will be the lead announcement, or perhaps the only one. Despite not mentioning a potential state of play, some PlayStation players have gone out on a limb and assumed the Snitch's leak hints at a showcase during which a number of projects will be revealed. Certainly possible, of course, not only because Xbox has a showcase of its own next Wednesday that we'll be watching here, and PlayStation might want to rival it, but because there are already a number of third-party games coming to PlayStation soon, they could be further shown off during a state of play. Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, Final Fantasy 16, which continues to be billed as a PS5 exclusive for at least 6 months after its launch. Blah. Back to the Metal Gear Solid hype, and despite nothing concrete, fans of the series remain adamant that remake news is imminent. Producer Noriaki Okamura recently revealed his term of 2023 is long awaited. 2 words that sent those aforementioned fans into a frenzy. There are also a number of Silent Hill projects people will be keen to see more of if this third-party leak really will include a variety of different games. Yeah, we know for sure that there's some Metal Gear stuff coming. There's also the Silent Hill stuff coming, so we'll see things on that front for sure. Next PS5 remake releasing this week. The PS5 is getting a remake of a 1990s horror game this week on January 20th after the remake previously skipped over to the PS5 when it was initially released. The horror genre isn't as popular in 2022. But in the 90s, wait, what? GameStop's already choking out, man. Yeah. But here's what look, GameStop's a pretty horrible corporation, by the way. They don't really take care of their employees. For a long time also it's been reported that like the products they have that they no longer want, they would take them out back and like cut cords on stuff. They would destroy all this stuff instead of like finding local charities and things like that they could give that stuff to that they no longer wanted. They would destroy it before they threw it in a dumpster. Destroy it. They didn't want people getting it. They wanted it to be absolutely, completely destroyed. There's just a lot of things that have come out about GameStop over the years. Aside from the fact that they actually literally have just treated their employees like absolute trash cans. So, I mean, look, I don't know how you expect a company, aside from just the fact that this is something we saw happen with like video rental places too, right? Video stores that did rentals and everything. They died a long time ago because this is the prominence of what has happened in the entertainment industry across movies and TV shows first and foremost. And now it's happening to video games, right? I've talked about this before. It took longer for the video game industry to adapt this, incorporate this type of mechanic for their media, which is more of a digital front, subscription services, things like that. But it is becoming more and more prominent, right? And therefore, what you see are rental stores have died, along Blockbusters, things like that. They couldn't sustain. People didn't need them anymore, and so they died. The same thing's going to happen to GameStop, dude. It will. Now, what you will see is that there are still game stores that survive, and it's because there's a different part of the gaming industry that people love that isn't necessarily there as much for other. It's there to an extent, like with music, right? With music, there's a vintage side for like records, right? Dude, I love records. You know what I mean? I've got records. And whether it be new records or they're still physical, right? People like physical to an extent still. I like physical. I have a record player, dude. I love records. I haven't even opened this one yet. So, what the crap? Oh, yeah. There's still an amount of stores that are going to be, but it won't be chained. It's not going to be super chained like GameStop. I don't think GameStop's going to survive a whole lot longer because of that fact. But there's going to be stores that do well based on, and there's like websites like, check this out. Where's it at? Limited Run, dude. Limited Run is a website that will always do well because they do this kind of printing stuff for physical types of copies of games that it's like a retro thing, dude. People love this kind of stuff and collectible stuff. You know, like they did a Dragon View game for Super Nintendo cartridge. They've got like Kubo 3 for NES. You know? Oh yeah, here, dude. I'll link it to you. Yeah, Limited Run's sick, man. Yeah. Check this out. Yeah, for anybody else that's interested as well. Yeah. So whether you're talking about software or hardware or what have you, there's even a lot of companies that are making really cool modern pieces of hardware to run old school cartridges. You know, and I'll show some of that off in a moment too. So there's going to be, I think, a bigger chance of certain types of stores surviving. But probably not a chained one like GameStop. You know what I mean? Because yeah, the digital front is really, really coming to fruition here in the gaming industry. And I talk about this a lot. I don't like having a fully digital library. It's not my thing, dude. DRM is a big deal for most digital platforms. That's why I promote Good Old Games, right? GOG. It's CDPR owned, but they do not implement DRM, if you didn't know that. So GOG, while we're on this topic right now, GOG is a GOG Galaxy. This is their desktop app, okay? There are a few cool things about their platform. First and foremost, they have a really nice system for linking your other platforms in here and pulling all of your library together. So Ubisoft, Epic, your GOG library, you can do Steam, you can do EA, you can do all these. And you can just pull your entire library into one place together, which is really cool. But also, they don't do DRM, right? Which means that if you own like a single player game or whatever, they didn't stop linking to Steam. What they stopped doing, Ferret, was Steam Connect. Okay, there's a difference. I don't think they stopped linking to Steam. What I read was they stopped doing Steam Connect. The difference being, they don't give you in your GOG library free games that you also have on Steam. So they'll still import your library from Steam, but you'll have to run those games through Steam, just like the rest of these platforms. So it shows your library, right? It imports your library. It shows all your library in one space. But understand this, everybody, and let me be very, very clear here. It imports your library to show what games you own on all of these platforms, but it does not run these games for you unless it's a GOG game, okay? What it does is it goes, hey, you own this game, but you own it on Epic. So if you want to play it, it will redirect you over to your Epic platform so you can start it up and install it and play it and everything, okay? But it is at least a nice place for you to see your entire library. Now, what they used to do is they had Steam Connect. And what they would do is it would basically, GOG would connect to your Steam account and go, oh, hey, look at all these games you own on Steam. We'll give you copies of those games on our platform too because you already own them, which was awesome. But they don't do that anymore. They will still let you link your Steam account. I don't do it because Steam's my primary platform, and I just don't need to have all those games in here as well. this is what I use to basically go look at everything else I have. So I have like a two-stop shop. Like I'll come in here and look at everything I have aside from Steam, or I'll go look at Steam, you know? Now, the other thing is it's DRM free, which means that if you own single player games on, again, GOG's platform, right? If you have GOG games that are single player, if you download them and install them, you don't have to have an internet connection to play them. Many other platforms utilize DRM, which means that if you cannot connect to their servers, they cannot tell that these are not pirated versions of games. They will not let you play the games, even if you have them downloaded and installed already. It doesn't matter. So this is one of the good things that about GOG in regards to digital content. Now, I still have a platform that I buy almost all my games physical on, and that is Nintendo. I don't like only having digital games. Part of that's probably just me being an OG gamer and having a bit of a soft spot for physical copies. I still have a lot of my old platforms. I showed all of that off not too long ago. I have physical copies of games for a lot of my old platforms and stuff. I will never get rid of that stuff. So I have old systems I can go play on and everything. But I think there's something to be said for making sure that if you're without an internet connection, you can just pop a cartridge or a disc or whatever in a game and play it. You know? So there's pros and cons to both sides. And the pros of the digital side is obviously ease of access. It doesn't take up space, physical space or anything. You know what I mean? You basically, you know, you're not having to like put discs in to install or anything like that and keep track of that. It's a really easy, intuitive system for being able to just maintain a library, right? But again, the flip side is if you don't have an internet connection quite often, you're kind of out of luck. So there's something to be said for maintaining a physical collection still, in my opinion. And that's why, for me, Nintendo and the Switch is a very nice place to maintain a physical collection because you can still find almost all games with physical copies, and they're very small. You know what I mean? I'm not having to worry about maintaining big flipping cases of discs for like a console or whatever, or my PC. I'm not having to worry about an optical drive for my PC. But those little bitty cards, you know what I mean, for the Switch are really easy to maintain. We've got a case that basically has little silicone places to put the cartridges in, and it's really easy to just carry around and keep all the games in one little nice spot. So for me, that's the best way that I maintain a physical collection. Everybody's going to have their own opinion, but that's kind of the way I think about things. Now, look, again, Limited Run is sick. They do all kinds of collectible anniversary stuff. They got Limited Run Game Boy games. On this note, people are like, well, yeah, but what are you going to do with these cartridges if you don't have an old system? Dude, you don't have to have the original system to play it. There are some cool modern hardware that's been made, and I'll show you a couple of them. Where are we at? Gaming stuff. Here we go. Where are they at? Pocket Analog's one. Polymega's another one. Pocket Analog, man, this is a very cool device. Look at how much it looks like an old school Game Boy, right? But this thing is amazing. A multi-video game system portable handheld, a digital audio workstation with a built-in synthesizer and sequencer. A tribute to portable gaming out of the box. It is compatible with over 2,700 Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance game cartridges. It also works with adapters that will allow you to play Game Gear games, Neo Geo Pocket Color games, and Atari Lynx games, and more. Okay, no emulation necessary. This is a very cool piece of hardware. You can see the difference between running like an original Game Boy game cartridge and some of the more recent, like the Game Gear or things like that, those kinds of games. This thing's very cool. It's USB-C. It's got a dock that comes with it, just like the Switch does. So you can connect 8-bit Do controllers, things like that. So you can wirelessly play this thing docked up to a monitor or a TV. It's, again, USB-C, which is very nice. It's got all the buttons you see on front. It's got these bumper buttons on the back. It's a very cool device. These are the adapters that you would need to also purchase separately to play like the Atari Lynx handheld, the Neo Geo handheld stuff, the Game Gear handheld stuff. But you can see, man, all these original Game Boy cartridges just play right in, right out of the bat. And it's like about a $220 device. But it's also got an audio synthesizer and stuff like that on it. It's a cool device. Here's the dock for it. It's got black and white versions. So depending on what you're comfortable with, what you want aesthetically, visually, what's pleasing to you, you can see the bumper buttons. Very cool piece of hardware. For everybody that's into that kind of thing, there you go. And also there's this, which is the Poly Mega. Basically, I'll just show you. The deluxe bundle is what you would. The base set, it's a modular, basically. It's a piece of hardware. It's pretty cool. It's a modular piece of hardware where the base set comes and then you can like switch out the different types of consoles, right? So depending on what you want to play, you basically just like pop off the modular part, and then you can play different stuff. Like they've got the regular Nintendo element, Super Nintendo. What else do they have for it? What are these? They call them stuff that is let's see. So the base is. So this is what the base is, right? This is the base. And this is where the other modules pop onto it. Yeah? And all the modules are the individual systems themselves that allow you to play like retro games and stuff, like the games that you actually own. So there's the power. That's just the controller there. The super. That's the other controller. Wait, what the crap? Give me the modules, my bad. The power. So there's your regular Nintendo module that pops in, right? The Super Nintendo, cool. Mega. There's your Sega. Mega Sega. Turbo. Oh yeah, what was this? Is the Graphics 16, right? Yeah. Graphics 16. That's crazy. And then Ultra. There's your N64. Yeah. And I think they've got some other ones too. Like they're coming out with new ones and stuff like that. So there's all kinds of cool stuff that's being made modern-wise. If you don't have these old consoles around, you can get these modern takes that allow you to still play the old console games and everything, the old media, if you have them around or you're collecting them and stuff like that. So there's just some cool stuff like that that I would like people to understand. It goes hand in hand with like Limited Run and a lot of the stuff they do with making these old games and cartridges and things like that. It's very cool stuff. Sorry, got on a bit of a tangent there. But that's great information. Like, I just, I know I get off on these rants about games and gaming, and there's just so much cool information out there because I'm just very passionate about the gaming industry and wanting people that have that same kind of passion and enthusiasm and love for what video games are. I want you to have as much information as I can give you in regards to immersing yourself in the same world that I love, So sorry I get off on some of that stuff sometimes, but hopefully some of this information that I'm pushing out there to people is, and again, none of it's like promotional. I don't have any kind of affiliation with any of these companies or anything like that. It's just stuff that I find cool, that I've come across over, the time that we've been doing the news and things like that over the past year and a half, or coming up on 2 years now. And I just want to share it with people. That's it. So back to this. They said the horror genre isn't as popular in 2022. I disagree. In the 90s, it was everywhere. It's still everywhere. But they're saying with many of the best horror games and series coming out during this window of time, in general, horror was more popular in the 20th century than it has been in the 21st century? What? No. There are a variety of reasons for this. No, dude, you're talking out of your ass, Tyler Fisher. That doesn't make sense. Were there a lot of great horror games in that time period? Yeah, but there it's still super popular. Yeah, I would say even maybe more popular now than it was then. That's weird. How would you say that the horror genre isn't as popular now as it once was? Like, it's like ever since then has just grown and grown and grown. Um, Publisher Forever Entertainment and developer Megapixel Studio have revealed that the House of the Dead remake is coming to PS5 on January 20th. I don't know, man. I don't know, Wick. Uh, After previously releasing on Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC last year, uh, oh, yeah, it must be true then, dude. Yeah, my bad. My bad. This will be the first current gen version of the game. Sounds like there will be minimal differences between the various versions of the game. A light gun arcade shooter, The House of the Dead, debuted back in '96 via Sega and the Sega AM1. Cult classic, it's often accredited to popularizing zombies in video games alongside Resident Evil. Yo, I went to an arcade the other day for the first time in a long time. And my son was like rocking out some of these like new gen shooter arcade games. It was pretty wild. Unlike Resident Evil, it hasn't been able to survive the test of time. Unless you were playing games in the 90s, you probably have no clue what the House of the Dead is. But the remake has attempted to remedy this by bringing the Sega game to modernity. Sorry. Let's see this.
Please, help! Everyone is getting killed!
Hey, it's Freddy Krueger, dude. It was a pretty cool. So we went to like a birthday party thing, and it was pretty cool. All the kids got like just like a swipe card with like a certain amount of time on it. So they're gonna just like run around the arcade, man, and just like swipe their card and just play as much as they wanted. You know, it was pretty cool. That was not the jam back in my day for arcades, bro. You be running around with like your pants falling down with like quarters in them. Dude, I needed a swipe card. Right on. For more coverage on PS5, including all the latest news, all the latest rumors and leaks, and all of the latest deals, click here. Alternatively, check out the relevant and recent links listed right below. All right, man. Here, if you guys need this. Starfield release date reportedly delayed. The Starfield release date has reportedly been delayed. Right now, the new spacefaring RPG from Bethesda Game Studios and Ant Todd Howard, the team behind the Elder Scrolls and Fallout, is scheduled to be released sometime in the first half of this year, which is say sometime by the end of June. According to a new and aforementioned report, though, it's not going to make this window, but it won't be far behind it. This is not official. This is not official news. So, look, I ultimately this is what I've been saying the whole time. I figured either Starfield or Redfall, which are both slated for a first half release of this year, according to Microsoft. I figured one of them would end up releasing before the end of the fiscal year, which means before the end of March. I really think it'll be Redfall. I don't think they're going. I think they're going to wait until a little bit later to get Starfield out. So that's my own take. I don't have anything official to go off of in regards to that, other than what I come across in the news all the time, and just staying current on what is happening in the industry and everything. But just knowing fiscal year dates and what Xbox is probably trying to do with these two very notable titles, that would seem a very, very good play, and I'm pretty confident in that statement. Thunderful Games teasing new SteamWorld announcement. You know what we always say? A mod troll a day keeps the other trolls away.
All right, that one was on me.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as it's not like 7 delays in 4.5 to 5 years. Ubisoft, you know what I mean? That's just an indicator something's wrong. But you're not wrong, Wick. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Swedish developer and indie publisher Thunderful Games, best known for the SteamWorld series, has shared a new incoming message on social media and YouTube teasing something. Apart from being a teaser for related to SteamWorld, it's unclear what exactly it's for. All we know is that there will be a reveal of sorts taking place this week on the 18th of January. Here's the message that was shared online. Darn tootin', SteamWorld Games! Thunderful has previously mentioned a number of new titles, including a brand new third-person co-op sequel to SteamWorld Dig known as SteamWorld Headhunter. We've also heard how it's got some other projects in development. You can learn more about what Thunderful may have planned in some of our previous coverage. I don't think you'll need this, but just in case. Darn tootin'! Hogwarts Legacy fans get disappointing news about requested feature. Those who are eager to play WB Games' upcoming title, Hogwarts Legacy, may have been met with some disappointing news this week. As a whole, Hogwarts Legacy has been off to an incredible start this year. While the game isn't out yet, it has been topping the sales charts across Amazon, Steam, and other retail platforms for virtually the entirety of this month. Check this out, though. Let me stop real quick and let you guys know. If you haven't heard already, Hogwarts Legacy on Steam has been confirmed to be implementing DRM. De novo DRM, okay? Which always creates issues for software, like 99% of the time. It is also coming out on Epic, and there's no report yet of it incorporating de novo on Epic. So, so we'll have to wait and see. As such, it seems like Hogwarts Legacy has the chance to be the biggest video game of the year, but that success won't come without some missing features. In a recent interaction on social media, WB itself confirmed that Hogwarts Legacy won't contain a function that a number of prospective players have been hoping to see. Specifically, cross saves are a feature that the game will not have across any platforms. If you're not sure what this means, essentially those who opt to purchase Hogwarts Legacy across multiple platforms won't be able to then transfer their progress anywhere else. Instead, saves will be tied entirely to the platform in which they're played on. Although this isn't necessarily a shocking revelation, cross saves have become far more prominent in recent years, especially for gamers that appear across numerous platforms. As such, this is why a number of fans who are looking to buy Hogwarts Legacy were hoping to see the feature implemented in this instance. Yeah, it might come later, though. While this news might be disappointing for some, WB has also shared some positive news about Hogwarts Legacy this week as well. Specifically, the game will feature 4 different character slots, which means players will be able to create a number of different characters to experience the different routes that the title will offer. So if you're someone who wants to make different characters that belong to Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff, you'll be able to do so. If you didn't already have the game's launch date circled on your calendar, it's coming out on February 4th. What? Really? Why does that sound wrong? That's not the date that I had seen when we made the schedule. February 4th for PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC? Hold on. February 10th, dude. Now, the deluxe edition gives you like 3 days of early access, which means at the very earliest, February 7th. So I don't know where they got their information from, but this seems wrong. Understand this. This should be February 10th. February 10th. This article is misprinted. The PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game will then arrive on April 4th, while Nintendo Switch owners will have to wait till later this summer on July 25th. All right. Simon Pegg is also one of the main voice actors in this game, which is very cool. Free League Publishing announces plans to make Year Zero open gaming license after Dungeons & Dragons OGL controversy. Yeah. Free League Publishing is moving forward with plans to develop an open gaming license for its Year Zero game system, as well as a separate license to make third-party adventure modules for its upcoming fantasy RPG, Dragonbane. In a statement released this morning, Free League noted that plans for both licenses were already in development but were accelerated as a result of Wizards of the Coast's recent proposed changes to its open gaming license. Free League used Wizards of the Coast's open gaming license 1.0 as the basis for the current Year Zero license. Under the reported terms of Wizards' new OGL, all previous versions of the OGL would be deauthorized. Quote, it's clear that it is high time for Free League to have an OGL that is fully our own, said Free League CEO Thomas Harriston. In a statement announcing the change, the planned Year Zero engine OGL will give creators an irrevocable, worldwide, and royalty-free right to use the accompanying Year Zero engine standard reference document to freely publish role-playing material, which includes their own games based on the Year Zero engine system. I think our buddy Byzantine recently played this game, Year Zero. Mutant Year Zero. Free League currently uses Year Zero as the foundation for many of its games, including Mutant Year Zero, Coriolis. I don't know if I know that game. Tales from the Loop, Forbidden Lands, Alien, Evasion, and Blade Runner RPG. Separately, Free League is also working on a separate license to make adventure modules for Dragonbane, the English translation of the classic Swedish RPG Drakar, Och Demoner. Unlike the planned Year Zero license, the Dragonbane license is specifically meant to create RPG material compatible with Dragonbane instead of creating separate games that uses Dragonbane's underlying mechanics. As such, the Dragonbane license will not have a SRD, but it will allow creators to freely create and share Dragonbane compatible material without paying a royalty fee. Both licenses will be created to the public in the coming week. Free League Publishing also noted that based off of the Wizards of the Coast's most recent announcement, they believe that their two product lines published under the current Wizards of the Coast OGL, The Lord of the Rings role-playing and Ruins of Symbaroum, will be mostly unaffected by the changes to the OGL, but that Free League will continue to monitor the situation. This is just another example of a company showing up, Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, and what they are doing with their new OGL. We saw basically the same exact thing that Free League has done here to create their own open gaming license, which is fantastic and great for overarching the community that loves their products and their kind of systems that they use for their games, whether it be tabletop or video games or whatever, and other creators that would like to utilize some of these mechanics and things like that for their own creations. This is very good stuff. The Pathfinder creators have also done the same exact thing prior to this in response to the Wizards of the Coast Dungeons & Dragons OGL fiasco, and did their own open gaming license that is the same thing. It's just a very open and nice license for content creators that want to create things based off of their own products. There we go. Sons of the Forest come to PS4, PS5, and Xbox. With the release date imminent, we're talking end of next month, right? Or is this March? I can't remember. We'll be playing this right after Hogwarts Legacy, With the release date imminent, where can we play the game? It's almost time to return to the Forest and take on cannibalistic mutants, with long-awaited sequel Sons of the Forest set for release next month. In the sequel to the hit 2018 survival game, The Forest, which we're starting today, you'll play as survivor of a plane crash that has left you stranded on a wooded island crawling with mutant cannibals. There's been disappointment over the news that the game is only being released on Windows PCs, but will this always be the case? Bad news, not yet. As of right now, a Sons of the Forest console release has not been announced for PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Series X, S, or Switch. The good news, however, is the game developers haven't completely ruled bringing Sons of the Forest to consoles. It's launching on PC to start with, but could branch out later. In a developer interview with Gaming Bolt, End Night Games said, "We would love to come to the console in the future, but are currently focused on delivering the best experience possible to PC players." It's worth noting, however, that when The Forest dropped as a PC exclusive in April of 2018, it then came to PS4 in November. If it does end up porting over to consoles, we'll find out, and we'll let everybody know for sure. There's a good possibility, I would say. I got nothing, bruh. Just chilling, dog. I saw an awesome video of a ferret, dude. I should have grabbed it and thrown it in Discord. The other day, I saw it. This ferret was like out in the snow with its owner, just like having a blast, dude. We're like cleansing here. Steam's second most anticipated game is finally going to show some footage just a month before it launches. The day before, one of the most wishlisted games on Steam is set to come out on March 1st. We still know virtually nothing about it. I haven't forgotten about the day before. You might have. I haven't. First announced in January of 2021 as an open world MMO survival game. Then in April of that year, we got a 10-minute gameplay video. And that's really been it. Nothing substance has been heard about the game since. That situation will soon change, though, as developer Fantastic says that it will reveal raw gameplay footage from the day before later this month. This month, we'll be releasing raw gameplay footage as per the numerous requests received from our community. This footage will showcase a majority of the features and gameplay elements requested by our community. Will provide a clear glimpse into the current state of development for the day before. Okay. That's all we know. We don't know exactly when yet, but we'll pay attention. It's going to be soon. It's got to be soon. This is set to launch on March 1st, so there's a month and a half left, and we'll see something very soon. No office, Bizen King. No office. Yeah, buddy. Thanks, dude. It's good to see you, man. I hope work goes well. Sorry you got to go in, man. Thanks for stopping by. Epic Game Store's first big free game of 2023 leaked early. The first major free game via Epic Game Store free games is almost upon us, according to a new leak. It's early into 2023, but the Epic Games has already provided PC users with some quality free games. Hasn't made a big splash yet. They did just give away a ton of games during the holiday giveaway, and there were some notable ones in there, though. This week on January 19th, this is apparently changing. According to a prolific leaker, the next free Epic Game Store game is actually 3 games, and that's because it's going to be Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, which is a collection of remasters of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. While the 2021 collection ultimately proved divisive, largely due to the performance and technical issues at launch, it sold 10 million copies in about a month, proving that video game reviews don't matter a ton, as it was one of the lowest rated games of its year. That said, many of the issues that contributed to this rating have either been improved or fixed entirely. Yeah, man. Sick. GTA The Trilogy. As for the source of the leak, comes from Twitter user Bill Coon. Yep, we hear about Bill Coon stuff quite often. A source best known for leaking free PS Plus games in the past. In other words, they not only have a track record of leaks, but a track record of specifically leaking free games. Yeah, January 19th. Again, this is going to be coming along Epistory on the 19th. Right now, you can get Divine Knockout, right? First Class Trouble, and Game Deck Definitive Edition free. But that's only for the next 2 days. Then it will be Epistory. I was actually saying this yesterday. Quite often they'll do this. They'll only show one game until right about time for the next games to turn over, free games. And then they'll like do a surprise game or whatever. looks like it's probably going to be the trilogy there for GTA. That's very cool. So we'll keep track. I'll let everybody know. But don't forget to get your free games right now. Also, this one's almost gone. Friday the 13th puzzle game. You should have an add to your library button here. This is a game that has over 5,000 reviews of 93% positive. This game, the developer is losing the license for this, okay? So I've already added this to my library, but don't click play now. Click add to your library. That way it's part of your library and they can't take it away from you, okay? Go ahead and grab that too because it's about to be gone off of Steam forever on their store. But if you have it in your library, they can't take it away from you. So go add it, all right? Activision Blizzard says NetEase dismisses proposal to extend ties. As of today, Activision Blizzard, the U.S. video game developer behind hit franchise Warcraft, said on Tuesday its Chinese publisher NetEase had turned down a proposal to extend their longtime partnership for 6 months as it looks for a new partner. In a statement on microblogging site Weibo, the U.S. firm's subsidiary Blizzard China said it contacted with NetEase last week with a proposal to extend their partnership and that the Hangzhou-based company has declined. Here, I got you, buddy, right here. It is a pity that NetEase is not willing to extend services for our game for another 6 months on the basis of existing terms as we look for a new partner. Blizzard China said its game services will end on January 23rd. NetEase declined to comment. Development comes after Activision Blizzard in November said it would end its 14-year partnership with NetEase, the second largest gaming company in China. The announcement sent shockwaves across the industry as the partnership was widely seen as one of the most lucrative in video games. Yeah, NetEase in a November earnings briefing said it had made the utmost effort to negotiate but found the proposed terms requested by the U.S. company unacceptable. NetEase then said it would have to discontinue Activision Blizzard's gaming service in China, the world's biggest gaming market, on January 23rd. With the demise of their partnership, Activision Blizzard was left without a Chinese publisher and said in December it was in talks with potential partners. Unlike other countries, foreign gaming companies typically need a Chinese publisher before being able to release games in China. NetEase rose to become a gaming giant partly by publishing Activision Blizzard's games in China. The company has since accelerated its own game development capability, with in-house games now accounting for more than 60% of revenue. Yep. There's that situation there, man. Last one I have for today, guys. Last article, and then we'll move on to day one of the forest, all right? If you have anything to add, let me know, and we'll discuss it before we move on. Alan Wake 2, release date, trailer, and latest news. Time to wake up. Great one. Alan Wake 2 is officially happening, which is great news for fans of the cult mystery game. For the longest time, it had seemed that Alan Wake and his penchant for moody exposition had been resigned to the... what's that word, Wick? Yo, random mode time. All right, for the longest time, it seemed that Alan Wake and his penchant for moody exposition have been resigned to the annals of gaming history. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Until he appeared in 2019's Control, that is. He even featured in DLC for the game, where it was confirmed that there's a shared universe between the two. Now that the world has warmed up to Alan Wake once again, I mean, did you see what word was here, though, dude? I had to really be careful about what I was saying. Yeah. Now the world has warmed up to Alan Wake once again. Remedy Entertainment is hard at work on Alan Wake 2. It's said to be more horror-focused than its predecessor, with Remedy describing the game as the studio's very first dive into the survival horror genre. Given that the team's games often include horror elements, we could be in for a seriously scary time here. While you wait for more Alan Wake 2, you'll find everything we know about the game so far right here on this page. That includes the release date, a look at the trailers released so far, as well as the latest news. Apparently, Alan Wake 2 is going to release this year. So far, this is as much info as we've been given by the developer. Trailers. Let's watch the trailer.
18.
No, dude. Yeah, it is a really good clip.
Looking for an answer.
I did it again right after, I know.
Sometimes it would be better to live.
I always want to say it that way, though. Oh, wait, evil, dude.
This is not the story you want it to be.
I'm going to be trying to get some more montages going here pretty quick. I did a lot of work yesterday. Yeah. Hey, man, I'm not denying it. Is that John Wick? That's John Wick, dude. That was John Wick. Okay. So Alan Wake 2 is officially on its way, but what will it actually be about? Well, we're betting it will tie into control in some way, like revolving around objects of power. Of course, the ending of Alan Wake saw Alan trapped in the dark place with very little hope of escaping. Trailer gives very little away, only that this story is a monster. Could this game be about Alan Wake escaping the darkness he's trapped in, perhaps by writing a horror novel and living through it as he does? We'll have to wait and see. That's about all we know right now. We'll find out more as we move forward for sure. That looks interesting, though. I've never played the first one. No, it looked like John Wick troll. Yeah. I've never played the first one, but this looks very good. It looks very cool. I love dark games like this and stuff. It's very neat. So who knows, man? We'll keep track. That's what I got. Them's the breaks, baby. That's the news. Thank you guys. You're amazing. Appreciate you very much. Yeah, we're gonna move on to the forest. So it'll be day one of the forest. We beat Breath of the Wild yesterday. It was amazing. I loved it. It was a great time. We had so much fun with it, and I'm excited for what's to come, man. So we've got the forest right now. We're gonna play this for a little bit. What's the hold on. We got a few weeks of this. Then we'll be moving on to a is it Super Fuse? That's the name of the one coming out on the 31st, I think. That we're gonna play at the end of the month before the Hogwarts Legacy drops. Yeah. So just chatting. I haven't changed the game over yet, so if you want to play just chatting, then you just got to come hang out. You won't be able to find it on the Steam store, okay? Yo, thanks, Wick. So, yeah, we're going to go play the forest. It should be a wild time. It's a very highly rated game, survival game. And, yeah, dude, I don't know anything about it either. Again, I don't look up anything about the games I play, so I'm going into this blind. I will set it up as a multiplayer experience, though, so if anybody wants to hop in and have some fun with it, as long as you're very cautious about not spoiling the game for me. If you played it before or know anything about it, then that's all I really care about. But I love multiplayer, so people in the community, you are going to get preference that have been part of the community for a while, especially mods, so, but come hang out, come play. Other than that, man, if anybody's checking out this content later on as either a highlight on the Twitch channel or a VOD on our YouTube channel and you're enjoying the video gaming news content, then come see what you can do about hanging out with us when we go live at 6 o'clock a.m. every single day. Start all of our streams off with video gaming news before we jump into whatever gaming content we're planning on playing for the rest of the day, okay? Other than that, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another. And I will catch everybody tomorrow for our next edition of Video Gaming News, which will be January 18th. And then it should be day 2 of The Forest to follow that up with. Cool? Yeah, yeah, yeah.